had a very good career, and he's a versatile player. When he was with the Ravens, they used him in a lot of different ways, and then San Francisco signed him to a big contract for a fullback. Certainly the highest paid player at his position by quite a bit, if I remember correctly. And he continues to be used in a variety of ways. He plays quite a bit as a traditional fullback, and carries the ball some, but he's also out of the backfield, uh, kind of as a tight end would be in 12 personnel. So when he's in the game, you really don't know for sure whether they're in 21, 12, or sometimes even an 11 personnel look. The players are still the players, but they're able to move him around to create the appearance of being in a different personnel group, and running plays that go with 11 and 12 personnel as well as their 21 plays. But he's an excellent receiver. He's made some big plays in the passing game. Um, he's a pretty good runner, the ball in his hands, and he's got good size and is a competitive blocker. So he provides a lot of value and certainly a lot of versatility for him. The 49ers use the fullback more than any team in the league, and uh, they probably have the best fullback in the league. So that's those two line up, and he's been very productive for him.
Probably taking you back to a time that I don't even know if you can remember, but is that something you could have projected coming out of Harvard, or was that sort of a tougher projection just based on what he was doing in college?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was, a player like a lot of fullbacks, a player that you'd want to work with, but his career is certainly developed, and going to a point where he's the top player at his position in the league, and so yeah, it's impressive. I'm sure that's due to his hard work and effort, and I would say also probably opportunity, and that's his performance has been rewarded with more opportunities and the ability to do different things, and he's done them well. And so, he's a tough guy to match up with. There aren't a lot of people in the league that can, play in and out of the backfield, and do the things that he does, as well as he does them. So that, and Coach Shanahan really likes that. He likes having the option of having a fullback in the backfield or not having one, and that's a good way to to pressure the defense, and so it's a good fit.
One other one, Robbie Gould, he's still kicking obviously for them, and it's 2020. You actually had him here in '05 when he was just getting started, and it might sound like a ridiculous question, but is there any level of sort of pride when you sort of see that he's still doing what he's doing, given that the door sort of opened for him, here, I guess?
Yeah, I mean Robbie, was a good kicker. We knew he had a good kicker with Robbie. It certainly, had we not had Vinatieri, I mean, he could easily have been our kicker. If it had been a year later, but at that point he was gone, and we drafted Steve. But Robbie, has all the skill. He's got a good leg. He's very mature and dependable, and is a solid person and doesn't get rattled. Kicks a lot of poise, and has a lot of presence on the field. So, and you could see that just in his competition with Adam. So he was able to really excel in his opportunities here. It was just we at that point in time didn't feel like we could keep him over Vinatieri, and he's gone on to have a great career, and um, wish Robbie well, except for on Sunday. But he's he's certainly done everything and more than what we saw in training camp. But we saw a lot in training camp to feel like he was going to be an excellent player. And had he been available when Adam left, I mean, who knows how it might have gone. But obviously Steve came in, and Steve had a tremendous career here as well. So I've been very fortunate to have some good kickers. Even Stover at Cleveland, and then Vinatieri, and Steve here is pretty fortunate.
Next question, Doug Hyde, followed by Dan Roach.
Good morning, Bill. Anfernee Jennings has been playing on the edge and off the ball. I know he played off the ball a little bit in college, a lot at the Senior Bowl, but what does it take for a player, especially a rookie, to be able to play both of those roles for you guys?
Yeah, it takes it takes a lot of work. It's really hard to play one and to play both takes it takes a good level of instinctiveness and both mental and physical versatility because the skill sets are quite different between playing off the ball and only a few inches away from a good blocking tight end or a good receiving tight end. So those are challenges. As you mentioned, Jennings did both those things at Alabama. He also was a very very good communicator and signal caller, and had roles on third down as well. So he had quite a bit on his plate in college, and I think that the volume of what he has now is certainly manageable. Probably maybe a little bit more, but he's a good football player with, as I said, some versatility and ability to do some different things, and we'll continue to try to see where he fits in our defensive scheme and game plan on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I've noticed he's played a little bit more over the last couple of weeks. What's allowed him to take on that bigger opportunity?
Well, I just think in general, some of our younger players started off the season. In a couple of cases, they played because more about a necessity, but as they gained experience and we've gained confidence in them, and they've been able to string repeated good efforts together on the practice field or in some game opportunities, then that's led to more opportunities. So Jennings' situation is similar to a lot of other players in his position that as they get the opportunity and they show that they can be productive and help the team, then that's going to lead to more.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question, Dan Roach, followed by Andrew Callahan.
Morning, Bill.
Hey, Dan.
Just a general thought of yes, you're only halfway there, but your players have talked about how exciting it was to have a normal Wednesday to get back into that routine. How has this week gone in your mind? What's it been like for you and the players to be able to kind of get back on track and get focused on football?
Yeah, it was great to be able to get back on the field and have a pretty normal week. We had the virtual meetings on Wednesday, but yesterday and today kind of been our normal Thursday and Friday schedule. We anticipate doing that going through the weekend. So I think we all appreciate that. Maybe took it for granted a little bit from the way it was in the past because it was always that way. But now having experienced the other side of it, players dressing in the bubble and driving home and having a shower and things like that. There's just a lot of little conveniences that, as a team, players and coaches that we've had that we didn't have here for a few days, and now that we have them back, I think there's definitely an appreciation. I know there is. I have it, and I know a lot of our players feel it as well. To just be able to do things on kind of a normal basis. So, and that's been positive for the team, and I think their attitude and energy has reflected that.
Next question, Andrew Callahan, followed by Megan O'Brien.
Good morning, Bill.
Andrew.
So I want to ask about Beau Allen. I know obviously he had a long layoff there before coming back to practice this week. First of all, how has he looked? And is there any sense to the idea of kind of being in football shape versus the conditioning that he might have to do before hitting the field? Is that something you might have to monitor, measure, looking at a player who's come off such a long layoff?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with that. I mean, football conditioning is a lot different than running around a track or jumping over bags and things like that. It's just those guys, especially in the interior line. I mean, it's like being in the ring. You're in close quarters. You're leaning and pushing and blocking and defeating blocks against each other in close quarters. And there's an element stamina and leverage and technique and position that, you just can't simulate hitting a bag or running back and forth across the field. So not only is there a lot of technique involved, but there's a great deal of endurance and stamina that you just don't get unless you're playing across from another guy your size and doing the same thing down after down after down, and that's how you build it. So any player who hasn't played recently needs that. Doesn't matter whether, honestly, you'd be coming off an injury or not coming off an injury. Once the injury's healed, they're still back to the same thing as regaining football acclimation. And we did that. Everybody did it in the league through the acclimation period this year, between the ramping up of activities to longer practices, to padded practices, and so forth. But yeah, that's all part of it. Bringing a player back onto the team in a productive way is something that we deal with every year. And I'd say each situation is different. So one player's situation, one player's injury, his position, his role, so forth, is different than the next guy's, and is different than the next guy after that. And so each of those is done on a very specific and individual basis that takes into account what the player needs and what opportunities we can, give them to regain that conditioning and fundamental work, and how to best, get it done.
And last question will be Megan O'Brien. Go ahead, Megan.
Hey, Bill, the 49ers have had some significant losses in their front seven. It's not just Nick Bosa, but several others, but yet they've still been able to effectively stop the run. What do you notice about the way that the other players have stepped up and the way they've handled things despite those significant losses?
Right. Well, Megan, first of all, the 49ers have good depth, and they play that depth. I mean, they don't leave the same four guys out there the whole game anyway. So some of the players that are getting playing time now were receiving playing time before. The percentages may change a little bit, but they have guys that have played and played well. But like every team, like we've seen, when you lose players, then somebody else gets an opportunity, and there's a little bit of an adjustment or break-in period with that player. But I think the main thing with the Niners is that they are very sound. They know what they're doing with their scheme up front. They play hard. They're aggressive, and I would say they don't try to overcomplicate things. They try to put the players in a position where they can be aggressive and react, and I'd say for the most part that's what they've done. So, it's a group that hustles, that plays hard, that's pretty athletic, and we just have to do a good job of not allowing them to play the game on our side of the line of scrimmage and disrupt all of our running and passing plays for that matter. So that'll be a challenge this week.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Thank you.
We're changing the way we run with contactless ordering, drive-thrus, curbside pickup, and delivery. So you can still get your favorites, and the only thing you have to touch is your phone. Order on the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'.
In New England, we are resilient. It takes hard work to earn respect. Sometimes it takes decades. And it always takes someone being on your side.
Ready or not.
Gillette ProGlide and ProGlide Gel. 5 blades and a pivoting flex ball designed to get virtually every hair on the first stroke while washing away dirt and oil. So you're ready for the day with a clean shave and a clean face.
For over 60 years, this team has transformed itself into a championship organization. For over 160 years, our team has demonstrated a similar mentality. There are no days off. Our front lines are fortified by people who sacrifice individuality for the team. Our shelves are also stocked with the best quality products and ingredients. Our team members know their roles. We're proud to do our jobs. Shaw's, the official supermarket of the 6-time champion New England Patriots.
My Caleb Sofa and Love Seat. With Bob's discount, you get both pieces for just $7.99.
$7.99? Are you joking?
Do I look like I'm joking?
Yes. You look like you're joking.
I'm serious.
Cool.
Get Bob's discount! We're changing the way we run. With contactless ordering, drive-thrus, curbside pickup, and delivery. So you can still get your favorites. And the only thing you have to touch is your phone. Order on the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'.
In New England, we are resilient. It takes hard work to earn respect. Sometimes it takes decades.